day one of our closer look at forever chemicals and the effect they have on our lives. We're starting with contaminated drinking water.
New federal regulations have addressed contamination across the country, but how do we achieve it? A lab at UMass Amherst is trying to make it possible.
We started developing better and better methods for measuring PFAS so we could measure it at lower levels, and we found it's everywhere.
Labs at UMass Amherst are full of PFAS, or forever chemicals, but not in a harmful way. They've got a staff of research students measuring and filtering the chemicals proven to be a cause for concern of human health.
Now, you never get 100% of it out, but you'll get 99.9%, and that's pretty good in most cases.
PFAS, scientifically known as perfluorinated compounds, informally called forever chemicals, were discovered and implemented in mainstream manufacturing in the 1930s. The harmful effects are what ignited decades of research for Dr. Dave Reckow at UMass Amherst.
The toxicologists were learning that it was serious concern to human health, and so we started doing research on PFAS, trying to learn how to remove it from drinking water, from wastewater, environmental matrices, and also how to destroy it too. And here we are, 2024, and we're still trying to figure this out.
Back on April 10th, President Biden, alongside the Environmental Protection Agency, recognized the severity and disparity of forever chemicals in drinking water.
The federal regulation is huge. We've known that it's been coming for a little while, and the fact that it finally has landed is really important.
The National Primary Drinking Water Regulation states all PFAS and related chemicals must be measured by no more than 4 parts per trillion.
The regulation is so extreme. It's at 4 parts per trillion, that, you know, a level that has not been implemented for really any contaminant before.
This legally enforceable drinking water standard intends to protect exposed communities.
What that means is you've got more or less even regulation across the country. You don't have this piecemeal that we've had up to this point, different states doing different things.
The EPA also announced another $1 billion in funds to help states and territories reach the new benchmarks. Sean Macbeth, an assistant professor at the UMass Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering, tells Western Mass News it'll be much easier for some than others.
I've worked a lot with remote communities in Canada. I'm originally from Canada, and First Nations and Indigenous communities. And a lot of these water problems or inequities surrounding water, potable water, drinking water, they can predominate in small communities, remote communities. So I don't expect this to be any different.
Still, UMass's research department presses forward to streamline the filtration and ultimately destruction of forever chemicals.
Really looking at ways to completely destroy these perfluorinated compounds, and that for me has mainly looked like electrochemical systems, so using electrochemistry to basically zap these things out of our water.
The hope is, and this is really the holy grail of PFAS treatment, is to destroy those compounds, to break up those carbon-fluorine bonds so that you have just carbon dioxide and water and inorganic fluoride, which is virtually harmless. And that's where we're going.
And Dr. Reckow's team is working tirelessly to help ease Americans' concerns. We continue our deep dive into the effects of PFAS tomorrow at 6 with how exposure to these forever chemicals has been linked to terminal illnesses in people.